So where's it all going then, this new normal? What will the future look like for patients? This is Matt Hancock, again, speaking, addressing the Royal College of GPs this morning. And thankfully, they don't agree with him. He didn't get a single, during the speech, round of applause. It was embarrassing stuff, this. But this is what they want.
Better tech means better healthcare. We want to double down on the huge advances we've made in technology within the NHS and social care. Because it's not really about technology, it's about people. It's the child with cystic fibrosis who can have his lung capacity measured at home with a spirometer and an app instead of having to go to hospital with all the risks that that entails.
All the risks that going to hospital entails, imagine.
It's the elderly care home resident, socially shielding for months, able to meet her new grandchild on an iPad.
Holy Jesus. Holy Jesus. Do you hear that?
That entails. It's the elderly care home resident, socially shielding for months, able to meet her new grandchild on an iPad. Able to meet her new grandchild on an iPad.
Meeting a grandchild, new or otherwise, on an iPad. That's what they think of the elderly, the elders of our tribe, the seniors. We're going to get you used to a new normal where you can meet your grandchildren on a fucking iPad. Eh? The new normal.
It's the local GP, already time poor, not having to spend time donning and doffing PPE because she can do her care home check-in online. Now, I know that I've taken a bit of stick for making technology one of the central issues for the NHS. Before coronavirus, there was a view advanced by some people, would you believe it, which held that anyone over the age of 25 simply could not cope with anything other than a face-to-face appointment. That video consultations, a technology, by the way, that's been around for decades, was too modern and too newfangled for the NHS. Remember that? That apps had about as much relevance to present-day healthcare as nanobot surgery and a mission to Mars.
Apps. And there's a reason the Royal College of GPs are totally against this, and we'll come to that in a minute. Apps. We will treat you using applications on smart devices.
When it came to social care, this attitude was even worse. Take away their fax machines, people told me, and care homes will collapse. Well, all I can say is thank God we didn't listen to the naysayers. And that NHS Digital, NHS X, and NHS teams right across the country.
NHS Digital, NHS X, NHS teams. You're hearing these...
worked so hard on digital transformation. Imagine if we hadn't put the investment into broadband infrastructure so that 99% of surgeries could offer remote consultations virtually overnight. Imagine if we hadn't digitised prescriptions so people could get repeat prescriptions online. Or imagine the massive pressure on NHS 111 at the peak of the pandemic if we hadn't developed it also as an online service. At a time when over 750,000 online assessments were carried out in just one day in mid-March.
Yeah. And he didn't get a laugh when he tried to inject a bit of humour in there, and he never got a round of applause until the very end when he got a lukewarm thank you applause for coming. It was dreadful. The only time I've agreed with The Guardian in recent years was their critique of his performance today. And the Royal College of GPs are not supporting this. Why? Because they are not stupid. They know that Hancock is telling them that they will eventually be replaced by artificial intelligence. Data-driven decision making. Eventually where they want this to go, and again, some very learned men and women over the years, there's a few of them, have been telling us that this is the way it's going to be. In the very near future, and it's only around the corner, the smartphone or the tablet, or even the laptop, app loaded, managed by a program, a self-learning program, artificial intelligence, will do the work of the doctor and will use the camera on the phone or the tablet and will use everything it knows. These things can learn at the speed of light. these artificial intelligence programs, and will begin to speak to you and tell you what you need to do, what medication you need to take, and there won't be any need for any doctors at all. There won't be any human doctors. That's not a fantasy, that's a fact. It's where it's meant to go. And the GPs in attendance today are sitting there looking at one another and looking at him as he's telling them, in the future, the default consultation, not until we pass this fake pandemic now, but forevermore, the default consultation will be online. How do you think senior citizens are going to deal about that? Has anybody stopped to think that a face-to-face appointment gives the doctor, through conversation, a chance to maybe diagnose something else, to see something else that the patient isn't telling them about? Human contact. Crazy stuff, this. Very little about this on the news today. Imagine. Jean Anna saying to me, in the future your services will be unnecessary. Exactly. He's basically telling doctors in attendance, in the near future we won't need you anymore. So you can sit there with your dirty looks, because I mean they were giving him daggers in the audience. Sit there and do whatever you want. It's all over. Technology is coming. You won't have a job.